Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel where I post things that would have helped my younger self. And today I want to talk about mental health. For a very long time I was very depressed. It felt like a part of me died because as a kid I was very joyful, curious and very active. But when growing up and becoming a teenager, I was really starting to find joy in anything I was doing, spending most of my time in bed and only thinking about ending things. I'm now 21 years old and with time I learned some things that really helped me get out of this state and cope with those feelings. And I thought I might want to share them with you. So here's a list of the top 10 things that helped me. So number 1 is the easiest: drink water daily. This is really simple yet super effective. It took me very long to realize that being dehydrated caused me so much stress because I was always stressed about an actual problem, and I didn't realize that not drinking any water made me just way more irritable and way more stressed about everything. So I always linked my bad mood with the issue on the moment and never realized that actually drinking water could solve 90% of that problem. And it's also true that sometimes you just feel bad and you have no idea why, and with time I realized that often I was just super dehydrated and that was making me very stressed and even anxious. So pause that video and go drink some water because you probably need it. For your information, you need about 2.5 to 4 liters a day. It can be hard though to get into that habit, especially for me with ADHD, and something that really helped me was always having a water bottle with me. So the second one is journaling. This one really helped me because I was someone who always felt like a burden and never shared with people how I really felt. And because of all that time of suppressing how I really felt, it was hard to put words onto it. And that's why journaling really helped me to learn to express my feelings again. On top of that, it also helped me just let it out. There's a study that people who had anxiety and other medical conditions were able to really increase their feelings of well-being and showed less depressive symptoms after only 1 month of journaling 3 days a week. Number 3 is spending time outside or spending time in nature. I've always enjoyed spending time outside, but I never realized how much benefit it had for the mental health. I know that some of you may live in cities, but even just going into a park or even a bench under a tree or as close as you can to nature, or just even going out sometimes, can be really good for your mental health. But if possible, the further away from traffic and noise, the better. And aside of spending time in nature, just the fact of going outside and moving, going out of bed can really help refresh your thought and kind of restart your brain. The fourth one is talk about it. It can be with friends or family or a therapist. Something that is important though when you talk about it is that the listener can either give you comfort or solution. And I would really advise you to seek solution with your therapist and comfort for your friends. So if you can have both, that would be ideal. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I went to a therapist, but even after that, I still felt almost more sad, even though she gave me great solution for my problems and great ways to cope with them. I was still feeling sad because it was the first time opening up about my problems and talking about situations that were pretty rough, and at no moment she was like, "Oh, that must be really hard," or at no moment she offered me a hug, which I'm really happy she didn't because that's not her job at all. But what I mean by that is that their job is just to give you solution, but when you talk about things that are that tough, especially when it is suicidal thoughts or things like that, it can be weird to have someone in front of you not react at all. And for me, it made me feel like my problem were not that bad, maybe. So I would really advise you to also talk about it with friends and have the comfort from them, and then get all the solution from your therapist. The fifth one is be a mom with yourself. So let me explain this one. Something I have always struggled with is to know when to be kind with yourself and when to be tough. Like, should I get an extra cigarette today because I had a rough day? Should I go to work out today or should I rest? Should I buy ice cream because it makes me happy, or should I think more on the long term? And what really helped me with that is have a little voice, just like a mom. And why mom? Because a good mom will always do what's good for you in the long term, but at the same time be really loving and understanding of your struggle on the moment. So for example, with the example of the cigarettes, she would say, Maybe if you had a rough day today, it's better that instead of a cigarette you watch your favorite movie or that you paint something that makes you happy. Number 6 is limit screen time. This one took me so long to master but had the best impact ever. As much as I love social media and I think you can really find wholesome and useful content on it, I think it's important to limit it because too much of it can really be bad for your mental health. Especially right now, we're going through really rough times and there's a rise of transphobia, and hearing about that on the news every day can really make you depressed. So what helped me the most is Opal. This is not a paid partnership, it's just my favorite app, but you can use any other. This one is free though. There's a pro version, but I just use the free version. So what Opal does, it just blocks the apps you want for a certain time, but what's really good is that instead of just any other app, you always have a countdown if you want to pass by that block. And that really helped me every time, even if it's like 15 seconds or 30 seconds, just that you're like, oh, maybe, you know, I don't need that right now. I could do something else. I would advise though, instead of blocking like 1 hour every day at a certain time, do always the same time. So it creates a habit and your brain gets used to it. And if it seems a bit too hard to say only do 1 hour of social media a day, for example, of screen time, you could do only 1 hour of block. For example, just 1 hour in the morning where you don't use it. Something that can also help is not only limiting how much you watch, but what you watch. Be more conscious about your content. You can, for example, go through your followings and just look at their content and think, is their content really bringing me something? Do I really want to watch that? Is it worth my time? Number 7 is find a passion. This one is so important. It's hard, but it helps so much. Something that's really hard when you're doing bad mentally, at least for me, it was not finding joy in anything anymore that you're doing. Like just staying in bed and doing nothing, and finding a passion can really help for that. It can give you a reason to wake up in the morning and even a reason to live. So what I mean by finding a passion is finding something that brings you joy just by doing it, and not necessarily by the money it will bring you or by the progress or anything it will bring you like in long term, but something that makes you happy on the moment. It can be anything. It can be painting, dancing, taking pictures, thrift shopping, I don't know, or even starting vlogs, anything. Also very important, it's hard, but try not to get mad if you're not good at it in the beginning, because it's totally normal, and I know we all want to be super good, but as long as it makes you happy, that's all that matters. Number 8 is exercising. I started working out to look good, and of course I'm still happy if I can work on my physique, but now I'm doing it primarily for my mental health. I like working out now because I know it will give me my daily serotonin. It will get my frustration out, it will help me move my body for the day, and I will have done something I'm proud of. And it's also generally just good for your physical health. I understand that working out isn't for everyone and you don't have to do it if you don't want to, but any physical activity will do, even if it's just dancing or going for a walk. The 9th tip is self-love, and I'm a quote RuPaul for this one. If you can't love yourself, how the hell are you gonna love somebody else? Self-love is super important because no matter what happens, you will always be with yourself. And as you can't escape yourself, it's better to be your own friend than your own bully. This can take time, but it's okay. And trust me, working on loving yourself will never be a waste of time. Even if it's hard in the beginning, because you start loving yourself, you have to face the fact that you don't. At the start, it can feel cringe to do all those self-love acts, like compliments, for example. But I would really advise to fake it till you make it. It's okay if you feel uncomfortable or if you don't mean it at first, but don't let it stop you from trying. Also, hang out with people who love you, and avoiding those who don't is a form of self-love. My girlfriend told me this: choose the people who choose you. And I agree. I think it's really important for your self-esteem, and it will help you love yourself if you're surrounded with people who love you. The last one is mindset. This one is so important because I really think that mindset can turn any situation around. And it's kind of like the Lulu is the Solulu, you know? You live in a certain world and certain things will happen to you. You cannot change that. But you can change the way you see it or the way you react to it. It's really the thing of glass half full, glass half empty. So if you want to work on it, I really like this TED Talk. I'll put the link in the description, and it will give you some tips on how to work on your positive thinking. So this is already the end of the video. I hope it helped you. If you have any other tip, feel free to share them in the comments. And to end this video, this is what I would tell my past self if I could. It's not your fault you feel this way, but you can get yourself out of it.